We are going to do a walkthrough to make this lovely little square. It's about 5 inches squared. I call it Tutorial Hearts 10 because the base has 10 windows, which I have done here. I have 2 videos to show you how to do, actually 3. You can either do the chainless or not, so that's just 2 videos that you'll need to watch, but there's actually 3 to pick from. And we are going to start at row 4 on the pattern. Wrong side. You can't really tell yet because there isn't much to look at, but this is the wrong side with all these dashes. So we are going to start with the main color. For me is white. Pattern says that this accent color needs to go to the back. So I'm putting it to the back and I'm just gonna pinch it under here, both the tail and the working loop, so that it's out of the way. And chain 3, 1B, that stands for 1 in the back. So now I'm going to go behind our red to find our white, and you always work as if the red isn't there. Pretend you're just making a mesh, and you're going to go right into there as if the red wasn't even there. But because we do want to make sure that that stays in the back, just make sure it's tight back there. We double crochet in there. And there's always a chain space between. Then it says 2F. So now we need to work into the front of our white, pretending that this red stuff isn't there. How can we work in front of the red? We have to go into the front, but now we need to bring all of it in front of the red before we do our yarn over, because you're never working into that red stitch unless you're using red yarn. When you're using your white, you don't actually want it to be crocheted in, it's just locked in. Do 2 of those. You can rewind the video and look at it as many times as you need to. I'm going to keep moving. 2 back. We're going to go into the back again. One, 2. 1 front. You can get the pattern on Ravelry. It's a free download. It's a PDF. And you can look at it, mark it off while you're watching the video. 1 back. 1 front. So we've got to make sure we're pulling it to the front. 1 more in the back. And then we get to our end stitch. I call it end stitch because I didn't want to step on anyone's copyright toes. You don't necessarily need to find the stitch. Just go into the whole square. This will get locked in on the next row. So sometimes I'm lazy and I don't move my stitch marker, but for the video I'm going to look professional and I'm going to put this stitch marker in here. I have accidentally pulled on this tail while working, and then you lose your work. It's not fun. Now we're going to work with our accent color. 5 accent color, that's what we're doing. It's already locked into the back, so it says chain 3 in back. That's just a double check that you have this in the right spot. You can't do anything about it now. If it was in front, you'd have to undo your whole row to get it to be in the front. So chain 3 in back, then 1 back. Now because the white is already on top, in order to do the back, we need to make sure that our stitch that we're working into and our tail, everything is all behind the white. And then to do a front stitch, we go in the front, grab it, but bring it to the front before you do your yarn over. If you make a mistake, you'll see it on both sides. Right now, when we do a back stitch like this, we go into the, pull everything to the back. We're working behind the white color. But if we, I'll have to show you on a front one. I don't think I can do it on here. I don't even know how to make the mistakes. I must know how to make mistakes. But we're going to do 3 of these first. Okay, so if we did this in here, if we did yarn over like this, if we didn't bring it to the front for this one, you would see it's covering the white on this side and it's covering the white on this side. We only want it to be on one side. So this is a front stitch. We're going to go in the front. I want to make sure you can see it. Bring it to the front. Pretend like that white isn't there. I'm going to do 3 of these. These ones are, there's only front and back, but because of where the other color is, sometimes it feels different when you're trying to get into the stitch. And this one ends with an EB, which means end back, or end in back, or however you want to say it. So you want your red to be in the back. I'm going to hook it on there. I'm going to pull it to the back. And then I'm going to do the yarn over, finish my double crochet. And you can see we're starting to get some in the front, some in the back. This is our right side. You can tell because of that straight bar. That tells us this is the right side. That's how my patterns do. And this is what it's going to look like. We can double check that everything's matching up. And we will keep going. I believe I have to break it into multiple videos. I will stop here.